In this video, I'm going to show you where I got all the different StatCrunch output that you see. So the histograms, the summary information, the hypothesis test results, and the confidence interval results. So for this one, I actually have the data set. So this time for the independent options, I'll show you how to use the data option instead. So first, we're just going to pull up StatCrunch, and I'm going to upload a data set. And I, of course, just browse to see where I saved my data set. So I have mine on my flash drive here, and we're going to upload it. Then first, to get those histograms, I did a graph histogram. But notice I only have one variable, so it's very easy to wonder, well, how did I get two histograms? Well, I need to actually group it by my standard treatment versus my new treatment so that I can get a separate histogram for each. So if I group by treatment, that will give me a histogram for each group. I'm going to change down here to have 2 columns per page because this will allow me to have both graphs I can look at the same time instead of one at a time. So when I hit compute, there are those 2 different histograms, and it has the new treatment and then the standard treatment so that you know which one is which. Then, to get our summary statistics that you saw here, this is sort of some old stuff, I'm going to be going to our stat summary statistics by columns. Click the variable that I want, but again, I'm going to group by that treatment. And so that will give me my 2 separate sets of information, one for the new treatment and one for the standard treatment. So that way I have all the different numbers I would need here. So that's some old stuff. Now to actually get to the hypothesis test results, that's where I'm going to be following what you see down here. So I have my data loaded. I'm going to go to Stat T Statistics to Sample. And then this time, because I have the data, I'm going to choose the data option. Now here, because how the data is organized, it's a little tricky. I'm going to put the values in time, but then to make sure I only have the one group, I'm going to have to put treatment equal, and then I use the standard treatment first. And then I want to compare that to where the treatment is the new treatment instead. So a little bit trickier. Sometimes you might have your data as 2 separate columns, so I'll show you how you can do that as well if you prefer. Then we're doing a hypothesis test. This number will stay 0 because we are assuming that the 2 means are equal to each other. For our alternative sign, we chose a greater than sign, so I'm going to choose the same symbol here as well. Then if we hit compute, we get the same results that you see there in your notes. Now to get that confidence interval that you saw, I'm going to go to the exact same place that I was with the same setup here. But this time, I'm just going to choose the confidence interval option instead. Now we chose to do a 98% confidence level, so I'm going to change that to be 0.98 and then hit compute. And you'll see that we get similar results because I rounded them a little bit differently in your notes so you didn't have so many decimal places. So there is our confidence interval as well. Now again, since this one was a little bit trickier with how to enter it, I could actually manipulate my StatCrunch page here and show you how to do it a different way. So I could put up here that I'm going to have the standard treatment, and I'm going to copy and paste all of those numbers over into that column. And then I could create a new column that only has the new treatment values in it, and copy and paste those options over instead. Because now if I were to do the hypothesis test, it's a little bit easier to follow. I'm going to do the same thing and go to the with data option, but now I can just compare my standard to my new directly and not have to put anything in those where options. And so we'll get the exact same results that we had with maybe a little bit quicker way of getting there without having to remember those extra code things to do. So there's how you get the StatCrunch output for independent samples with your data.